Tokyo Godfathers by the late great Satoshi Kon, director of every really weird anime movie you've seen, and this being one of his more grounded films, but only a little. It follows Gin, the alcoholic, Hana, the transgendered woman, and Miyuki, the runaway, all three homeless people in Tokyo. They come across an abandoned baby and now have to return it to its parents. Shenanigans ensue as they go from random set piece to random set piece. And I don't want to give away too much of the film. It definitely needs to be seen to believe. It's animated by Madhouse, who does really good stuff. And because of the director, it does have that kind of style of hyper-realistic backgrounds, pretty realistic people, but with cartoony expressions. And the animation is fluid as butter. Even the parts that are CGI, even for 2003, look really good. And just like the director's style, the characters are very much overly exaggerated in a more realistic world. I mean, it's no Paprika or anything. And yes, this movie does have someone who transitioned in it. Does this make this movie offensive? Despite the fact the character is constantly shitted on for her flamboyant lifestyle, I would say no, not really, because she knows she's flamboyant and just lets people deal with it. And there's no point in the film where she has to hide it. It's just part of her character. And no, there's not some preachy message about acceptance, or there's some bigot who wants her to stop being trans. If anything, this is a pretty progressive character, especially for Japanese media in the early 2000s. The other characters are also really likable, even after we learn they're liars and are all, to some degree, insane. The movie does rely a lot on coincidences, but I think it really works for the kind of tone the film has. And yes, all the main characters are homeless, but it's not as depressing as you would think. But this film is definitely not for kids. There's some swearing, adult jokes, a tiny bit of nudity, and 2 characters die by the end. Of course, being an anime, we have to discuss sub or dub. The dub is by Gkids, who's basically the only people contesting Funimation's basically legal monopoly over distribution and dubbing of anime. I think the dubbers do a really good job. And I only kind of thought that Hana sounded like Todd Peppercorn. And going by my Mexican friend that I watched the dub with, the Spanish that's oddly in the film is very accurate. So this is an English dub that I would recommend. And overall, I would recommend this film in general. It's not as dark as you would think for having 3 homeless people in it. It's kind of silly and really funny at points. It gets you in a Christmas spirit. I recommend this highly as a Christmas gem. Happy holidays.